Good morning, everyone. This is Sizzle powered by Fit to be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the USA. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End 757 Broadcasting. I am Karen Dougherty, aka Sizzle. And you can also find me on all platforms under Fit to be Trained everywhere. I won't even bore you with all the details of that. All right.
They're actually up on the screen.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. There's a lot. So all you got to do is go
on the screen right now.
Fit to be Trained, and there I am. Okay. My favorite subject. It's very boring. It appears, but my job is to try and make something like the importance of posture seem not boring. I love talking about this. This is my favorite. I usually wait until I've got some, I wanted to do this on the first day of doing podcasting, but I knew that nobody would take me serious. So hopefully I'll get you guys to listen, because the importance of posture is where it all starts in fitness.
Well, I'm a big old slouch sometimes.
No, you're not.
So I need to be reminded to keep a good, proper posture at times.
Everybody
as I want
does.
to slump around.
Everybody does. And so I even got some little notes here to keep me moving so I don't get too down the rabbit hole with this and bore you guys to death. But I don't think this will bore you. I think what we really need to realize is how important posture is. It's the key to overall well-being, preventing injury, and enhancing physical appearance. I used to always joke around with my gals when I worked at the retirement centers. I used to always tease them, if you are leaning over your walker, that's going to make you look 10 years older. If you're standing up tall, that makes you look 10 years younger right away, standing up tall. So here I am at 58 years old, and I am trying to reverse the signs of aging. Oh, who isn't? Everybody's lying if they're saying they're not, right? So the biggest thing that I do is work on my posture, number one, because that is the big telltale sign. I try to whiten my teeth. I use eye whitener because that helps. Those are all telltale signs of aging. Work on your glutes. Your glutes tend to go weak as we age or not fire, but that's a whole different podcast that I promise you that I will talk for 45 minutes on someday. But right now we're doing posture. So posture, if you want to get into appearance, right there, it's the number one way to make yourself look more youthful. So what you want to think about is like sitting up tall, pulling your stomach in again. And for me, when I'm working with my clients, I make them do it again. It's usually 3 times is how much you really need to pull in your tummy or belly or whatever to really wake up all the muscles in the abdominal wall, whether it be pelvic floor, right? That's in the pelvis, and then the belly button, the mid abs. And then if you pull in the 3rd time, you might luck out and get those abs right underneath the rib cage. And those abs at the top go dormant really easy. So I need people to really be aware of that. Engaging your glutes. Say you're driving around a lot, engage your glutes. Sit tall up against your seat in the car. Start to practice sitting up tall, and driving's a really good place to do it. Girls, if you have a hair clip in your hair, or, a ponytail, that's going to stop you from bringing your head back. So I want you to bring your ponytail up on the top of your head, like your I Dream of Jeannie, or a little, that shows my age, I Dream of Jeannie, right? Or down at the nape of your neck, because you want to be able to pull your head back. Forward head, if you think about it, people hunch over, and this is going to sound kind of grim, but we come out of the womb in the fetal position, right? And then your whole job is to stand up. And then if you watch toddlers walk around the room, they have really good posture. When they pick stuff up, they're practically doing a perfect deadlift. If they had a little barbell in front of them, they would do a perfect deadlift. They do think the body automatically does things really, really well, right? And then we start to pick up bad habits, obviously, as we get older, and then when we start to work or go to school, now the kids are looking at their phones all the time, and all of us are. I didn't mean to just say the kids. So now that forward head syndrome is a very prevalent problem, where your head is always constantly looking down. So trying to realign yourself is actually really a comfortable place to be. And if you're not in alignment and you go to the gym and you start working out and lifting heavy weights, you are definitely going to get hurt. It's a definite. Think about it. If the bones are the first layer in the body, the first layer, then the muscles, soft tissue, blah, 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 then the skin. So granted, you can't really change your bone structure, but you can change the muscle structure. So as muscles get tight, they pull bones out of alignment, right? So you think like that. So if you are getting really tight in your shoulders because you're leaning forward all the time, you're going to get pain in your shoulders, your chest muscles, your pecs are going to get tight. The muscles in your upper back are going to get long and overstretched. So they're going to hinder your performance when you're just regular walking, or even better yet, like somebody like me who likes to lift weights. I like to really be in really, really good form, but I struggle with forward shoulders. My shoulders kind of droop forward. So I'm going to take a break here because your silence is making me realize that it's boring. And I love this stuff because I always joke around. I was on a podcast before and I joked with the lady. I was like, I could talk for 2 hours about posture.
You've hit on a million things I could ask you about actually already. Let me say this first. We had at my Norfolk Tides gig when I bartended, when I first got hired by that company some 25 years ago, we had there's snow shoveling going on outside.
That's kind of cool. I was wondering what that was. And I was like, I kind of like that sound now that I know what it is. We got snow here in Virginia. It's a very big deal.
Well, what happens when you have the microphone on and you hear the snow shoveling out of the background? It's almost sounds like a gurgling pipe getting ready to explode frozen or something like that. Like,
it's not. It's some soul. Hopefully they have good posture when they're shoveling their snow, right?
Yeah, extremely good. Yeah, with that aggressive style of snow shoveling we hear outside. I mean, that is as loud as.
Hopefully they're pulling their stomach in, pulling it in again, and then again.
Well, you can make it a workout, and with good posture.
It is a workout. I lived in Minnesota.
I actually shoveled the gym's parking lot at one time, and I don't think anybody cared. I was like, hey, if anyone wants to work out, I got the parking lot clear.
Oh, I didn't know you used to do that. That's so cool. That reminds me, I used to mop a gym. I mopped North End and cleaned North End CrossFit for the longest time because I just didn't have enough money to pay for a membership. So I used to clean the gym. So I always joke around when people are like, oh, I can't afford it. I'm like, man, I guess it's just matters like priorities. Like, what are your priorities? I was like, when I couldn't afford a gym, I mopped and scrubbed the toilet so I could go.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm a very good driver. I'm a very law-abiding driver.
Yeah, me too.
I don't excessively speed.
Yeah, me neither.
15 miles per hour over when there's no need to.
Right.
All right. I'm sure someone out here is a speeder. There's no shortage of
we live on Shore Drive.
So if you're listening to the show and you speed a lot, slow down. Yes, so I'm good at driving in the snow. I'll tell you that. We have the northern blood. My dad's a New Yorker. My mom's from Boston. We just have it in our blood down here to be able to do so. I went to college in Southwest Virginia. No shortage of snow there.
No.
Right? So I've been able to go through life relatively unscathed. That's the first thing I like to do when we have a storm is to go outside,
right,
get in my truck and drive around
and check things out.
And you know, the gym was part of that too. But good posture wise, though, I mean, yeah, if you're out there shoveling, be aware. You know, don't bend with your back as much.
Yeah.
Hinge maybe a little bit more at the knees or so.
Yeah, because you're right. Shoveling can really
you can get
hurt somebody that
it can kill you. People have died.
I guess
shoveling the damn driveway.
You are right. It can kill you. Shoveling can kill you for sure. I lived in Minnesota for 17 years. And yes, that was the place where, you know, it was so cool living there because you went to work every day, no matter what. And if you didn't, you were made fun of. You know, it wasn't like, you know, you couldn't call and be like, I can't get my car out, because you'd be, you know, called a wussy. Like, what? You can't get your car out? You know, so so many of us driving down the road with the snow coming, you know, you didn't even clean off your car. You're waiting for the defrost, looking out the side window. You know, like, yes, I learned how to drive in the snow for sure.
And I mean, I like it. We'll see how it goes. It's going to ice over. We have 3 days of below freezing temperatures, so
yeah,
roads will ice and re-ice, and there'll be some idiots out there.
Well, what I've learned is Virginia just doesn't have the, you know, we don't have the budget and the money for all the snow removal. Like living in Minnesota, you know, obviously the reason why we could go to work every day is because the snow plows were out there the day before. You know, it was worked into the city budget, and Virginia just doesn't have that. So we are, you know, nobody plows back here in the neighborhoods. No one.
Right.
And so, yeah, it just puts us back 2-3 days a little, you know. It's kind of nice though. It kind of slows things down. And yeah, it does hinder like any kind of, you know, driving at night kind of stuff. Yeah, because the black ice is real. We do have an issue with that for sure. We're going to have that the next couple of days. So that will be something. But let's go back to posture. When you get out of your car, it's going to help you to be walking in a straight, thoughtful manner so you don't fall on your tail end. You know, because there is going to be black ice everywhere, not just under our tires, under our feet. So, and we don't shovel like we did in Minnesota either. I didn't shovel my walks. I'm waiting for everything to just melt. It's just different.
Slow and steady. Don't rush and try to jog.
Yeah. Like no
black ice or whatever. You're really going to eat it if that happens.
Ain't that the truth? Like you cannot.
The baseball story. So my job with the Tides, basically the guy who trained me was Eddie. A shout out to Eddie. And Eddie was his older gentleman, and he had that kind of hunched over curved top of the spine, kind of hunched down and all that. Super nice guy. Eddie gets on, I believe, just the bike. I think just riding the bike. Simple as that. And he completely straightened out his posture 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
That's such great news because it really can happen.
So yeah, it doesn't take much to improve your body when you're bad off.
I guess I just didn't realize that bicycling, because I'm Pilates and reformer and you know, so I've been doing Pilates for 20 some years now, and obviously that fixes your posture. But I need people to know, just because you teach it all the time, you doesn't like I have to do my Pilates in order to not get hurt weight training. Do you know what I'm saying? I have to do my mobility, and I wasn't doing it for like many years. I was teaching it, and then I would be bored. You know, I'd be done work, and I was like, you know, I'm not getting on my reformer. I'm going to go to the gym. And I ended up getting hurt, and it was always postural issues because
you're in a rush. You're just not thinking about the proper steps. When you're deadlifting, you have to have that kind of sucked in gut.
Yeah.
Kind of good form.
Feel it in your lats, you know, feel it in your back.
The weights with your muscles and not just lifting it off the ground with your back. Yeah.
Oh, God. Shit. Yeah. Right. And it's funny because people don't realize deadlift really is a back exercise. You're supposed to feel it in your lats though, like, and obviously your posterior chain, which is your bum, your hamstrings, all the way down.
I think of it as a full body, but the back's the one you're gonna hurt the most. Same with squats. If you don't have a good posture, just kind of inverted, and you're putting a barbell on your back, and everyone should put at least a little bit weight across your back shoulders and try to squat it at some point, even if it's a light dumbbell or barbell. People get 30 pounds, even a 22-pound bar. You, like every lady out there who's listening, can handle a 22-pound barbell or whatever that trainer bar is. And
I have a 25 in my garage.
And know that you need to move your body up and down in basically a straight line.
Yeah.
And standing next to a wall, kind of imagine a line going from north to south, from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And as you're doing the squat, you kind of looking up, never looking down, right? You talk about how looking down can always hurt you.
Round your shoulders out.
You see people looking down all the time when they squat. Look at 10 o'clock high, and in your mind, say to yourself, am I going up and down like this line on the wall with my body? And if the answer is yes, then you're probably doing at least a 3/4 decent squat anyway, and you should be fine. And back to the bike thing, I mean, you have to have good posture on that. That's how you get your exercise in that too. You see some people bending down and really trying to get into it and getting into the groove. No, don't do that. When you're going up a hill, unless you're racing someone, I guess. But for exercise purposes, if you're going up a hill, stand straight tall. Get that most resistance, working those legs the most, and you're going to benefit out of that.
Well, I think a lot of it too is if you're pulling in your abs and really pulling in your abs,
right?
That's going to help you.
That corrects everything.
It really does. It sounds so corny, but I used to not always, but I would get hurt. Like in my 40s, I would get hurt a little more because I was pushing too hard. And I had some postural issues going on, and I would get hurt deadlifting, and I'd always get hurt like the low back. And now I know because my glutes weren't firing. That's a whole different podcast, so I won't bore you with that. But I could picture my shoulders rounded out. I mean, here I was a Pilates trainer. It was like, oh my God. But I would get, that would be I worked in physical therapy back then. I worked, and I'd often have to have the therapists work on me, and they would, I'd get my pelvis out of alignment or stuff like that. And a lot of that stuff is all postural issues and injuries. And granted, they can put you back, and, it hurts for a little bit, but it's fixable. By strengthening your core. And God, I hate it. I hate that subject, strengthening your core.
Well, for everyone out there listening, what Karen's talking about here, and we've had no shortage of good coaches. We've had the same coaches. They're all great.
Yeah,
for the most part, really right? I mean, not even for the most part, they are. I can't complain about.
I missed it this morning.
Any of the coaching at any of the gyms
no, me neither.
I've been a part of here in the last 10 years. So the best thing that I've heard out of that is, imagine something sucking the front of your stomach through your back, right? Even when you're on the ground.
Right.
But even standing up, get that good core engaged by pretending like there's something behind you that's sucking the front of your stomach back through your body. And that's what gets everything.
It's funny that you say that, because like all the, so a lot of female classes, like back in the day in aerobics, they would always tell us, bring your belly button to your spine.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring your belly button to your spine.
That's funny.
So, yeah, I like to hear you say that. Yeah, and here's me, like just this morning I was teaching a class, and if you bring your arms forward and it's like you're reaching for somebody, That's called protraction. And then you come back to neutral and then you pull back, and that's called retraction. And I always tell everybody, like for me, even lying on the ground, I have to retract a little bit. Like I'll watch myself in video and people, like I'll be teaching something and I'm all retracted and nice and straight and perfect. Like even right now, I'm sitting perfect, right? And then because the video keeps going, then you see me not teaching and walking to the other side of the room to go get a weight. And it's like, oh my God, what happened to my posture? All of a sudden my shoulders are rounded. I'm like, good, I gotta fix that. Drives me crazy. And then I'll go get into form, when I go to lift and I look really great. And then I'll go to the other side of the room to go pick up a little tiny weight, and I'll be walking like I'm like, I don't know what is wrong with me. It's like, Karen, we just get in these habits and try to make your habit. So my new habit is, because now I'm 58, to try and back that up, so, change that. And here I'm somebody that always has it on my mind because of my job. It makes I need people to know it's really normal to have those rounded shoulders and that forward head, but it's not okay. It's not okay. You gotta pull yourself out of that. Pull that. I used to always have neck pain, always, and I never do now. And that's because I practice pulling my face back. Like I always joke around when I was little, like my brother probably went, get out of my room. And so I always picture, pull your face back. You can almost hear my voice change when I'm teaching in class. I always say that you hear my voice change because I'm pulled back. And then that's when you turn your head and move, and I don't get neck pain at all anymore because I've practiced that enough. I pulled myself out of the forward head. And also I was catching that if you pull your face back, it just fixes your posture. Pull your stomach in again. All of a sudden, you are straightened up, even just sitting in a chair. Engaging your pelvic floor. That is just a fancy way of saying if you were peeing and I told you to stop. It's pretty crass. Sorry about that, but everybody can do it, guys and girls. So that is your pelvic floor. So it all starts there. So say you are, we keep hitting on deadlifting or squatting. The smartest thing to do in any exercise is engage your pelvic floor, pull your stomach in again, then move into your exercise. And most likely you're going to be in good postural form, and then your coach is going to say that looks really good, because that's what I'm always looking for. I want my coach to say that looked nice. I don't care about the weights. I care about what it looks like posturally. I want to show up on film doing a lift really good. That's one of my favorite things about, I just posted a little girl yesterday. She did the perfect clean and jerk. It was so good. She was in 5th grade and she did it for her talent show. It was so cute. And then she did a clean, front squat, and then into a clean and jerk. And she did it for her 5th grade talent show. And it was adorable. And she did it so well. Guess what? Kids that young, I don't even, with those phones and computers, you think they are dealing with postural stuff already. But not really. That's why they're so natural at, some of these, like to watch her do that clean and jerk was so great. Her elbows were forward, when she did the clean perfectly, where me, for so many years, my elbows would be pointed down towards the ground. And I'm like wondering why, how come my lats aren't firing? It's like, all of that matters. And I think that's what I love about CrossFit the most, is that we get to use the Olympic bar. And that's what I like about the Olympic bar, is every move is broken down into so many different moves. And if one of those steps, if your posture's off, it could screw everything up. It could screw the whole chain of command
I'm
up.
telling you, every time I've gotten injured, it's because I just have a slight mental lapse. Picking up a kettlebell, 35-pound kettlebell or dumbbell, I think I kind of tweaked my back or something like that.
Right. And maybe it's just because you weren't thinking and you walked over and you like normal, like Steve, not workout Steve, like right before you do a lift. That's where I catch myself. It's like when I'm just being Sizzle, just walking around the gym, fooling around, picking stuff up with a big old round back. And then all of a sudden, when we're doing lifts and it really matters, all of a sudden my posture is great. So I'm trying to learn how, and when I'm driving, I do posture good. It's just when I'm comfortable and I'm fooling around, or like I would assume at a party or at some sort of gathering, I'm probably standing there like a curmudgeon.
It's something, honestly, I think everyone should have a dry erase board on their fridge, right?
Yeah.
And remind yourself of things.
Stand up tall.
But yeah, you should always have a kind of a top 5.
Tummy in.
And
squeeze your butt.
Posture, just in a hole.
I know.
Could cover a lot of that.
I'm so glad that I sucked you into my little world, because it really is. It's super important in the fitness world. It really is number uno.
Well, you got to keep telling yourself, like you said. I mean, if you don't tell yourself to have good posture, you're going to eventually just get hurt.
I did.
That moment
shoulders, neck, knees, back.
Yep.
Knee maybe wasn't a postural issue, but it could have been.
Maybe,
shoulders for sure, neck for sure. And when I would throw my pelvis out all the time, and those physical therapists would have to put my pelvis back in. That was always postural. Okay, so let me look over here and see if there's anything that we skipped, and I don't really think there is. We know common postural problems: hunched shoulders, forward head, talked about that, rounded lower back. That's an anterior pelvic tilt is where your bum sticks out a little bit. You know how the girls all want a bubble butt now, so they tend to. That's more of a girl thing. The guys don't really do that because we're always sticking our butt out. So you guys will look. That's an anterior pelvic tilt. You don't want to do that all the time. It's okay once in a while. Impact of poor posture. We talked about that chronic pain, because my neck, until I fixed my posture in my neck. And I need to make it clear that you can fix a lot of this stuff. Like you talked about your friend at the bar, how he straightened out his posture bike riding. Like I would have never known that. I would have never known that bike riding would do that for him. But look, it did, because all that soft tissue was probably, his chest was tight and his muscles in his back were long and stretched out. And once he shortened the muscles in his back, lengthened the muscles in his chest, look, it can happen, because the soft tissue can be molded. The bones can't, but they can move once the soft tissue moves. It's kind of cool. I went to school for architecture first. So if you think about it, that's what the bones are. They're the architect, they're the frame of your body, and the soft tissue can move it out of place or move it back in. The roles of the muscles, we talked about that. Soft tissue manipulation, we talked about that. Corrective exercises, strengthening the weak muscles, stretching the tight. So back to the rounded shoulders is the easiest. There is where you want to lengthen those chest muscles. So any kind of rotation, opening those arms. I don't think because people can only hear me and translate that very well.
They can see you.
Lying on
it looks like you're on top of a pyramid right now.
I love that.
No, wait till you see this.
I'm so excited.
Well, there's a close-up, production-wise, there's a closer up picture of you with your graphics, and then there's a zoomed-out version. And I've been going back and forth, but the zoomed-out version, you're totally on top of a pyramid, while your graphic is kind of let's just say enhanced through the bigger pyramid.
I appreciate that. I've always wanted to go to
fast forward when you get to it. Or
I actually, back when I was in my 30s, had a cruise that was scheduled to go to. I was going to go to Israel and Egypt. I was going to get to see the pyramids, and they started fighting in the Middle East. And this is a long time ago. And it was so funny because I lived in Minnesota and
they've been fighting for the thousands of
exactly.
years.
Wait till you hear
before
this.
that, Sizzle. But
So like one of my buddies, his name is Mohammed. He worked
Right.
in a gas station. I go in, and this is in Minnesota. There's a lot of the Arabian culture in Minnesota.
Yep,
so
yep.
I go into the store and I go, damn, you guys are fighting in the Middle East. My cruise got canceled. And he goes, Kareen, read your Bible. It's been going on for a million years. And I was like, touche. But I love that you put me sitting on a, I always think of that guy. Kareen, read your Bible.
I think this is Machu Picchu. That could be wrong.
I would love to go there. Encouraging consistency. So here's what I play a game when I go to church on Sundays, because church is about an hour, right?
Teotihuacan. This is the Mexican super pyramid. Right?
I'll take it. So if you go to church or you go somewhere for an hour or two, say you go to school, go somewhere, practice sitting really good for that time. And it started out not being the whole hour at church, like usually the homilies, like 20 minutes. Back in the day, that's where I started, where the homily. Then I started practicing in my car, like really putting the seat straight up, pulling my head back. So girls, I repeat, make sure you don't have a ponytail in the back of your head. It's got to be up on top or at the bottom, because that will bring your head out of alignment. So those are practicing little daily habits that you can do, because it even says daily habits, ergonomics, mindful movement practices, things that, some people say when they brush their teeth, they stand on their tippy toes. Just things like that. Body awareness is the biggest thing. And so now I'm like, I've gotten in the habit of doing things right when I'm, probably half the time. But like I said, when I'm fooling around or I'm relaxed or whatever, then all of a sudden I got those round shoulders. I've got to figure out how to do it. Remember then. So we talked about importance of consistency, staying motivated. What motivates you? Like as girls like myself, or ladies, I should say, as we're aging, we're trying to make ourselves look more attractive, younger. That's a motivation for me. I want to look attractive. So posture would be that way. Obviously I don't want to be in pain. That should probably be more important than my appearance, but I'm just keeping it real. The fact that I don't have pain in my neck anymore is such a beautiful thing. So good posture will take away that chronic pain. It really will in your back. Like guys and gals that drive a lot, they complain about low back pain. And a lot of that is like their glutes aren't firing. But like I said, that's a whole different podcast that I would like to talk about, because that's another 45 minutes of fun to me. I mean, I love this stuff. I hope you're not like, God, Karen, this is boring, but this is kind of what my job is, and I love it. Personal experiences, we both talked about that. And the call to action would be, let's encourage our listeners to start small, stay consistent, and reach out to us if you need personal guidance or coaching or anything like that, or reach out to someone. Go to yoga really promotes good posture. Pilates promotes good posture. Every sport, CrossFit, it definitely promotes good posture. So I didn't mean to just pinpoint yoga and Pilates. All fitness is going to talk about posture, or it's not fitness.
I think starting on a snowy day with nothing else to do, if you're out there listening and you get motivated, and simply get off the couch and practice good form on an air squat, right?
Yeah.
That's posture.
Pull your tummy in, pull it in again.
That is almost like the perfect thing to do on a snowy day.
Yeah.
If you're stuck inside.
Or a wall sit. How about a wall sit?
Yeah,
that's always underestimated exercise, because that gives you a chance. I know it, isn't it? Because that's how, as fitness trainer, when I'm doing a fitness analysis, I have people do a wall sit. And that's when you put your back up against the wall. If you have a ball, you can use that, but put your back up against the wall, and that way you can feel if your shoulders are back. A lot of times I joke in classes, I'm like, I want you to be like SpongeBob SquarePants. I want those shoulder, think of your back as a square, and your shoulders are down and both hips are down.
I feel like those knock out so much out of the park in such a short period of time. The wall sits.
Yeah, don't they? They're a great way to
for you. Like in the short amount of time that you do them, you are accomplishing a lot.
I know, a lot. And that's like when I meet with somebody for a consultation, I do a wall sit. That's how I test their lower body strength, because it's very uninvasive and they can feel how, like sitting there for 30 seconds is a long time. It's a great way for me to really determine strength quickly, rather than here, pick up this weight and do a bunch of squats. I'd rather see their wall squat. And see how long they can hold it. And then obviously I have to teach squats. I had something that I wanted to say and I forgot already, darn it. But I do what's called postural analysis. And I remember when I was in school for Pilates Reformer, I was like, man, I'm never going to learn this. God, it was really hard, you guys. It was hard. But anyway, and I had to go to Richmond for it. So I'd have to travel a whole bunch. It was a lot. And it was for a long time. But anyway, it was worth it. But I remember thinking like, oh my God, I'm never going to learn all this. And now I can just look at somebody's body and analyze it really fast, just like they taught us in school. And I do what's called postural analysis. It doesn't take long to do. And always feel free to call me. I'm supposed to be plugging myself and I forget to do that. Always feel free to call me about any of this kind of stuff. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I could go on. I just won't do that to you. About postural and, doing postural analysis and how important posture truly is to everyday life. And with that, I'm going to tune out because I feel like I'm going to start repeating myself.
Good, solid show.
Yeah, good. I liked it. And I know a lot of information. We didn't get to fool around as much, Steve. I that's my favorite part of this. But
what do you have for ideas for future episodes coming up?
Well, I want to talk about the glutes and how I went to I was working.
Can we get some live studio guests for that one?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be funny.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of people that I think about inviting. I just haven't.
Sorry.
I love that.
The delayed laugh there.
I know. I have a lot of people that I think of. I've just been, I hate to sound like a broken record. I'm just a little bit behind on things. So I haven't had a chance to reach out to people, but I promise you, I will start reaching out to people probably more in like February, because I really am starting to catch up on things and got, some help in for my fitness business. Like I really need, I'm hoping that I get somebody starting here soon, and then I'll be able to reach out to guests, and because we have so many great people right here in this town.
Oh, we have no shortage of guests.
Oh my God, we have no shortage of coaches. We have some of the best.
This program will probably end up going more towards an hour when that happens.
Right. Like CrossFit coaches, bodybuilding coaches. My bodybuilding coach trained me right into a trophy. 2 of them, one for posing, one for training. CrossFit coaches. Oh my God, there's no shortage of them. Josh Waltz trained me right through the most major depression I ever had in my life, got me through that, and kicked my ass. We have so many great trainers, yoga trainers, other Pilates trainers. Oh my God. My favorite Pilates trainer is Nancy. She's Virginia Beach Pilates. I love her. She's great at classical Pilates. Yeah, I'll start boring you with the list. And it gives me an excuse to reach out to these greats, Kasha Winston, Vladimir Popov. I mean, oh my goodness, I can't wait. So yeah, I'll get you some guests. You want some guests? I just got to get that made me really excited. I just got to get my poop in a group, to be honest with you, get Fit to Be Trained going. I'm not even advertising for myself, and I'm ready to bring guests in. So as soon as give me about a couple weeks and I'll start reaching out, promise.
Sounds good.
That was a lot of words. Sorry.
So glutes next week. What other stuff maybe down the pipe?
Glutes next week for sure. Because I the reason why I'm getting back into exercise, the first couple of sessions they were fun to talk about, was more about food and nutrition. So maybe I'll swerve back into some food. I've got a nutritionist we can call in, Karen Edge. I love her. So like to make it more well-rounded. Thanks. Like you kind of put me on the spot there, but you made me really think. Yeah, like we've got so many locals and that we can bring in here. We just got to get them to agree to hang out with us for an hour. And I don't think that's going to be a problem, except that they're
not
busy.
Even that 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's all.
Right. And except they're so busy too. But I love how everything's virtual now and we can kind of even connect.
Right.
I love that you and I get to do this together, though. I'm so glad we're doing this. And I appreciate you so much, Steve. I really, really do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
I try to just mainly be the producer, but of course, it's a topic I think I can weigh in on.
No, I love that you speak up. That's how I knew I was getting boring, because I've
been sitting here the whole program trying to keep my back straight, my butt tight.
Well, good.
My leg.
Because in the beginning
straight.
You said I'm a curmudgeon or whatever.
My shoulders pointed backwards.
Yeah, retract.
Pelvic thrusting as we're sitting here. I'm trying to do it all nonstop.
Live in that. Pull your stomach in again, and pull it in again. That'll help a lot there.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yep. Thank you.